Coach, timeout. Listen, some of us are not burnt out because we coach too much. We're burnt out because we forget who we're coaching for. Welcome to Timeout Talks, Coaching with Christ. This is our new series from the Southeast Indiana FCA Coaches Ministry. And listen, we just want to give you simple truth, straight scripture, and something that you can use every single week. So hang out with me till the end for your practical tool so that you can level up your coaching. Let's be honest, coaching can turn into a job real fast. You start thinking about wins, you start thinking about parents and playing time, the schedules, and sometimes, unfortunately, even the politics that go into it. But if you're not careful, you'll start coaching for approval. Listen, I've been there. I spent 17 years as a coach, and I know what it feels like when you win to feel like the hero, and when you lose, you feel like a failed person. That's not just stressful, though. What it becomes is dangerous if we're not careful. Because what happens is you start coaching and tying that into your identity. So coach, let me ask you this question here real quick. What's the biggest pressure that you feel that tries to pull you away from your coaching, tries to pull you away from your calling, and you start to tie your identity into your coaching? What's that biggest pressure that you face? Is it parents? Is it winning games? Is it the admin? Or is it your own expectations? Whatever that is for you, type it in the comments below. I want to hear from you, and so that you can share and help other coaches understand and know they're not alone. Let me start with this verse. Colossians 3:23 says this: "Whatever you do, work at it with all of your heart, as though you're working for the Lord and not for human masters." Listen, you might have been hired at a school by the school board, maybe by the principal, maybe it was an AD, or maybe it was just a parent that you knew that had some influence, or possibly even a donor that had some influence that was able to get you your job. But here's the thing, they just got you the job. They did not establish your calling. Only God can do that. It is easy to put the priority on pleasing those people, the ones that help you get the job, over putting your priority on pleasing the one that gave you the calling. So how does this play out when we coach? Well, if we're coaching for people, then we're going to ride that emotional roller coaster. If we're coaching for Christ, though, we stay steady because we're not chasing the applause, we're chasing faithfulness. Here's another scripture for you. 1 Peter 4:10. It says, "Each of you should use whatever gift that you have received to serve others as faithful stewards of God's grace." Think about this for a second. Coaching is a gift. Your influence is a gift, and your leadership is a gift from God. And for this reason, your players are not just athletes. They are the people that God specifically put in your care. So here's our practical tool for the week. I call it the purpose check, and it's super simple. Just take 10 seconds before practice, before games, even before those tough conversations you might have with parents and administration, and ask yourself this: who am I coaching for right now? Look, if your answer is to prove that you're a good coach, if it's to look smart, if it's to shut up that parent, or if it's to protect your job, that's fear talking to you. That's not from God. But if your answer to this question, who am I coaching for right now, is to serve, is to build up young men and women, and is to honor Christ with how I lead, any of those, then you know that you are coaching with God. And here's what I want you to do. After you ask that question, just simply pray this prayer out loud. Just say, God, Lord, I'm coaching with you today. So do this daily check. It's just an easy way to not let our priorities go astray. Listen, I know for me, it was very easy for me to do that. I remember when I first got into coaching, My goal was to help lead young men, to help teach them life lessons and life skills, to help them be better fathers and husbands. But I was chasing the dream of becoming a college coach. And one summer when I was 21, 22 years old, I probably talked to about 150 different college coaches. And a lot of them would ask me, why do you want to get into it? And I remember one coach in particular. I told him, I said, when I was 16 years old, my mom passed away in a car accident. I got to see how my coaches influenced me in a positive way, and I want to do the same for my athletes. And I'll never forget this one coach jumped my case right away, and he said, I don't care about any of that. What I want to know is how you're going to help me win more games. So cut that crap out and tell me how you're actually going to help me. Man, and I was caught off guard. I remember in that moment thinking, I thought that I'm getting into this for the right reasons, but there's a lot of people in the profession, and this coach wasn't alone. He wasn't the only one to kind of think this way or get me to think a different way. You see, what was happening is that the identity, the priority was moving to the wins and the losses and moving away from the calling. Now, at a young age, I didn't realize this, and I didn't know this at the time, and I thought, yeah, maybe he's right. Maybe I need to focus more on winning and focus on these things, and maybe it's not about the big picture of my life and what I'm trying to accomplish. And man, was I wrong. You see, God has put us in this position to hopefully win games, but at the end of the day, whether we win or lose, it's the difference that we're making in our players, our parents, our community's lives that's helping them grow and change and become more like Christ in how we lead them to do that. So my final verse for you today, Proverbs 16:3. Commit to the Lord whatever you do, and He will establish your plans. You see, this is not a promise that you'll win every game, and this is not a promise that everything's going to go right, but it is a promise that when you put things in God's hands, He will steady you, and He will guide you every step of the way. So our challenge for the week is just simply this. Do that 10-second purpose check. Before practice, before games, before those meetings, just take 10 seconds. Just remind yourself, why am I coaching right now? And then say that prayer out loud. Lord, I'm coaching with you today. That'll keep our priorities in line. That one sentence, that one simple prayer can change your tone as a coach. It can change your patience as a coach. It can change your confidence as a coach. And it will change your peace as a coach. Ultimately, helping you lead your athletes to becoming the young men and women of God that they were created to be.